Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Hey, do you sense God's presence every day? Do you just sense that God talks to you every day? Do you see miracles every day? Well, if you're like me, you don't. Although God is always there. I talked about this a little bit this past Sunday. So I'm going to share something I picked up from Jonathan Cahn in his book, The Book of Mysteries. And as always, there's the teacher and there's the student, and they are in the book of the Chamber of Scrolls. And they sit down at this small table, and the teacher places this small scroll in front of them. It's ornate, it looks really special. And he says, this is unique in all the books of the Bible. It's different from all the others. And he asks the student, you know what it is? And he says, no. He says, because it doesn't mention the name of God. The name of God is absent. So do you ever feel the absence of God? I think if you're like me, there are times that we do. It's akin to the sun. There's times where it's cloudy, it's dark. Hey, overnight you don't see the sun, but your house is still being heated by the sun. So what book is it? It's the book of Esther. And so you might conclude that the book of Esther is a godless book. Well, as a matter of fact, there are some really evil, godless people in the book. Not only are they evil and godless, they want to annihilate God's people, God's chosen people. So in that sense, it's true. But it's a time when darkness could reign. And yet in this book, you could say, well, it's less holy because it doesn't mention God. That's what the student thinks at first. But then the teacher enlightens him. He says, no, not at all. It's as holy as any other book that does mention the name of God. He said, that's the point. The name of God isn't mentioned, but the hand of God lies behind every event. Unseen, unmentioned, yet working all things together and turning everything around to fulfill his purposes. Esther is the book of the unmentioned God. Your life sometimes is the life of the unmentioned God, right? So in this book, and it's a very holy book, it speaks of all the times in your life that you don't feel the presence of God. It speaks to all the times when you don't hear his voice, when you don't see his hand. There's no sign of his love or purpose, and when he seems far away or not there at all. So if you've ever experienced that, you're not alone. All of us have experienced that at some time. Some people call it the dark night of the soul. People have called it different things, but then you've got the book of Esther, the book, the story of the unmentioned God. He seems far away. But even though you don't feel his presence, he's still there. And even though you don't see his hand, it's still moving. And I hope you know that today. And if there's anything I've learned in the last 45 plus years, or whatever it is since I came to Christ, it's that there have been seasons where I'm like, God, you're not doing anything. And then it's like, whoops. Oh, I didn't get it. You were working behind the scenes. The hand of God is still moving. And when you don't hear his voice, he is still speaking, even if it's simply through silence. And when you feel abandoned and alone, you're not. He's still with you. And that's what it says in Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. I'm with you always to the very end of the age. His love is still there. He is working. His love is there. His purposes, his redemption, it's all still in play. And that's why we're called to walk by faith, not by sight. I know it's not easy, but somebody needs to hear this today because it's the season you're going through. And in the end, light's going to overcome darkness, good's going to overcome evil, and you will know that you were never alone. You were never alone. And you will look back over your whole life, as C.S. Lewis says, and you'll say, I was always within the grasp of heaven. I always was the one who was being redeemed. And it was holy. Your life is holy because of God. It was your time of the book of the unmentioned God. If that's you right now, I want to take a moment and pray for you. Father, I pray for those who feel that you are not there. And I pray that you would give a rock-solid assurance in the depths of our souls to know that you are there with us. You are here with us. You will never leave us. You will never abandon us. You're with us to the end of the age, and then we will be in your home forever. God bless you. Have a great week.